The man who once had the world at his feet was on the verge of losing everything that truly mattered. It would take the quietest soul in his kingdom to reveal the one secret he had never seen. In the hushed, sprawling hills of Northern California, where tech billionaires ruled from glass-walled mansions, Walter Anderson was a king. His empire thrived on predicting the future, spotting patterns and data others could not. Yet the one pattern invisible to him was the slow erosion of his family. He had a wife who was a stranger, a son who only spoke through lawyers, and a daughter who treated his mansion like a hotel. His fortune stood as a fortress, but inside its walls he was utterly alone. Then, one ordinary morning, Walter stepped into a forgotten room and found a child no one else had noticed. She carried only quiet hands, wise eyes, and a secret he would soon need more than anything. The morning air hung heavy with coastal fog and the earthy scent of redwood, but it did little to calm the storm within him. Walter stood before a towering window in his minimalist mansion, a place of sharp angles, cold lines, and modern perfection. Outside, manicured lawns rolled into a private vineyard, the vines thick with grapes, destined to become wine worth thousands a bottle. In his hand, a tablet glowed with stock tickers and market data, his shield and language, the only world he still understood. Across the vast room, his wife Catherine sat at the sterile dining table, poking at a single slice of melon on a white plate. Once, she had been a vibrant artist, her laughter a splash of color in his world of black and white. Now she was as distant and curated as the sculptures in their garden. Her silence had become a weapon, sharpened by years of unanswered conversations. "The Foundation Gala is tonight," Catherine said, her voice echoing slightly in the cavernous space. It wasn't a reminder, it was an accusation. "You do remember?" Walter didn't look up. "Of course, my speech is ready. We'll be honoring the new children's hospital wing." The words left his mouth as though they were bullet points on a calendar. Another event, another performance of philanthropy. "That's not what I meant," Catherine replied, her tone weary with sadness. "It's our anniversary, 35 years. The stock tickers blurred before his eyes. He felt a jolt, a crash in his carefully coded mind. He had forgotten again. His algorithms, endless profits, mergers, shares had erased the most important date of his past. For a fleeting moment, he looked up and saw the young woman he had married, her eyes once alive with hope he himself had extinguished. "Catherine, the Tokyo deal," he began, the excuse sounding pathetic even to his ears. She gave a small, humorless laugh. "There's always a deal, Walter. For 35 years, there's always been a deal." Placing her napkin down, she rose from the table. "I won't be at the gala tonight. I'm going to stay with my sister for a few days." She didn't wait for his reply, just walked away, her footsteps fading on polished concrete. Walter remained frozen, the silence pressing in on him, the glowing numbers on his screen mocking him. He had just orchestrated a multi-billion-dollar merger, a strategic masterpiece, yet he had forgotten his own anniversary. The king was nothing but a fool in an empty castle. Later that morning, his daughter Jessica breezed in, a whirlwind of designer clothes and restless energy. She treated the mansion like a refueling station before her next social escape. "Dad, I need the black card," she said, heading straight for his study. "There's a charity auction in Napa, and I saw a necklace perfect for the gala." For the first time in months, Walter really looked at her. She had his eyes, but without his fire. Hers were restless, scanning always for the next thrill. He saw failure reflected back at him. He had given her everything money could buy, but none of himself. She had no purpose because he had never taught her one. "Your mother won't be at the gala," Walter said flatly. Jessica paused, her hand hovering over the credit card. "Oh, is she sick?" Her voice carried no true concern, just mild annoyance at the disruption. "No," Walter answered. "She's leaving for a few days." Jessica shrugged. "Okay, well that's fine, we can still go, right? It's for the hospital, it's important for the brand." "The brand, not the family, not us." Walter felt a cold weight settle in his chest. He had built empires of brands, assets,